So with my channel, with what I do, with what Bodie Vision is, one of the things that I strive for is I like to make custom cars, parts, and pieces that the average person wouldn't necessarily know. It didn't come from the factory, but if you know, it just doesn't look, I don't want to say it doesn't look right, but it just doesn't look like something that exists. That's exactly what this video goes along with. That's what I strive for in a lot of my builds, and that's exactly what we're going to get into today. Something kind of cool, one-off and custom, that could possibly look like it came from the factory.
And now, you're watching the situation that is your girlfriend being interviewed on a leather black couch channel of YouTube. Welcome to Bodie Vision.
Hey, so what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me yet again on another video. One second. So this right here is a humongous grill off of a Acura TLX, but I really like that all of the Acuras from around 2020 era, I think some of the new ones don't quite look like this, but I really like this diamond pattern grill that we have going on. So I thought it'd be a really cool touch if I took something that I am a huge fan of from the company that the car is, being an Acura, and I integrated diamonds into the grille of the Acura TL, my car. So the goal is, and what we are going to do, I don't approach things as the goal is. No, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in this video. We are going to make this grille fit into the front bumper of the Acura TL, and I'm going to have to rework this and go about it in a way that it looks good. Obviously, this hole right here is way too big for us to do anything, so I'm going to have to cut it. Let me show you what we got going on so far. We got the grille right here. We have this trim piece which is attached to the bumper. This is what I think I'm going to use as my framework. I'm going to possibly have to trim the bumper in order to make this work. So this is a crucial piece. And this is the factory grill that I'm not going to be using much off of. I might use some of the mounting points, but the idea is this emblem has got to come off. I want to use this emblem, obviously. Now the original TLX emblem is gigantic, but that's also a sensor, so that emblem alone is like $300. I'm not going to spend that much money on this car for something like this. This I will not be using. This is the emblem supporter holder thing. I will probably be using this. And this I will probably end up cutting down to still utilize the factory mounting locations, but I can't foresee me using really much of this grill at all. But we will have to see. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to start trimming and cutting, and as I get a little bit more along with the process, I'll go ahead and fill you in on what I did in the last clip, and let's just get to work, man. This thing's not going to build itself.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
As of right now, we got a panting dog, that's one thing, and we have the grill kind of sitting in there. I mean, dude, that looks good. I think that looks real solid how that looks. It's a good idea of how it is going to be in the end. So the next thing that I'm thinking is, this is a way larger area in there compared to what the OEM grill is supposed to look like on this car. So the OEM grill sits kind of behind this ridge. So what I'm thinking is, I'm going to take some kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a razor blade, or I'm going to cut right along where my pointer finger is running, so that way that's cut off, all of that is gone, and then this little trim piece will still fit in right there, hiding all of the cuts. So my thinking is, this whole area is going to be opened, and that's going to be receiving these diamond, or this diamond pattern. Now as you can see, it's actually shorter together to close in that circle, so the pattern isn't perfectly symmetrical, but I still think we're going in the right direction.
it sound right, boys.
So at this point we are super rough with our shape, but it is starting to come together just a little bit. So I went ahead and I cut out this whole section. That all was cut out. That is usually attached at all times, but now we have this gigantic mouth of a grill where this car never would have had anything like that at all. So that's looking pretty good. Now the next thing that I want to figure out, we kind of see where the diamonds are going to live. I know it is not a perfectly good circle, but we're working with what we got. I think it's looking pretty good. Better than I was expecting. So now I need to get rid of these. These are just sitting in here. So I need to take those out. And now I need to figure out how I'm going to make the emblem live in there, which I think is going to be pretty easy. This goes in the bumper right there. That goes in the bumper right there. This is already attached. So now at this point we are sitting ultimately where we want the grill to sit, and definitely as far as orientation left to right, top to bottom. But however, it has to now go inward. But in order for us to do that, I have to go and mark where I need to trim. One thing that I was worried about is that we wouldn't have enough coverage of diamond shapes. As you can see right there, we're almost to the point where we don't have enough. But it looks pretty good. I think that we are going to make it. And then everything behind it is just going to be painted flat black. This is going to be really nice, solid, glossy black. And also too, these diamonds right here might be trimmed in order for it to sit behind the emblem. I think it'd be nice if the emblem was a little bit more prominent in front of it. But overall, man, this thing is coming right along. It's a little bit intimidating to just go ahead and start chopping up a bumper. I don't mind chopping up a grill because I could always ditch the idea. And also another thing, before I start a project like this, I don't want to plan to fail, but I always want to have a backup plan. There's a junkyard really close by that has 4 or 5 Acura TLs on the lot, so I could just go grab any one of those front bumpers if this didn't work out. But that is looking retro, modern, kind of like a resto mod vibe. Keeping it OEM looking, but a lot newer, a lot better. Even though this is just a grill, I think this makes a huge difference. So let's keep working towards the idea of getting this thing knocked out. I'm really pleased with this thus far.
It sound right, boys.
Alright, so at this point, man, I realize this video has a bunch of POV talk in here, but that's all good. So we have the original outer shell of the grill, the Acura TSX grill. Then we also have part of the OEM front bumper. I cut that off. These little things I cut off. I had to do a bunch of trimming of the grill to essentially end up with this one singular piece. Now it was pretty easy because I could just say, let me get this bottom row all nice and clean. However, I wanted to leave this one linked there and linked there to give this one a little bit more strength. So besides that, and then this one was tied in as well, but then I wanted to trim the bottom of the rest of them. The top has this row and then that one, and this is pretty easy because essentially the pieces are 100% mirror images of one another. So all I had to do was cut, trim, and fit one side, and then I just brought the other side, and as I'm saying side, I have two of these where the circle opening was. So I worked on the left side, I brought the right side to the table, and I just kept track of everything that I trimmed here, everything that I trimmed on these ones. There's a whole row, I think there's 2 or 3. I think these 3 were removed completely out of here. A few on the top. This is the only one that needed to be cut in half. The rest of them are going to be sitting okay. I cut a little bit more on the bumper than I actually needed to, so I could still get another bumper and redo this process if I wanted to, but doing it knowing exactly which direction I wanted to go. So something like this, I don't really know how I'm going to do it, so then I just end up doing it, and then I figure out, you know, if I were to do it again, how much better I could do it next time. So as you can see right there, we have half of it on. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this half on, then we're gonna throw it on the car. And dude, I didn't know if this was going to happen, but bro, this thing is looking, this kind of stuff makes me excited, dude. This is gonna be good. Almost there. Just a little bit more trimming to do. Dude, and that actually cleaned it up quite nice. Now it's just one solid row at the top and then one diagonal row at the bottom, mimicking the way that the OEM bumper looks. I'm all squatting over here like a moron. All right, let's see if the hood will close. That looks so good, man. Something like this, where it comes together, when it was, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a little bit of a battle. I was kind of racking my brain on how I wanted to make this work, how I wanted to secure it, how I wanted everything to go. Now honestly, I'm just utilizing that back grill. I put some zip ties. I might come up with some kind of brackets or better straps, something a little bit better than just some zip ties, but either way, man, if it works, it works. And then as I was trimming this, if you're gonna try to do this on your own, come on bro, the IRS is after me. So if you were going to try to do this on your car, I just got a little tiny dikes right here, and that works perfect for trimming all of these pieces. So this is a 2018 Acura TSX grill on a 2006 Acura TL. Chef's kiss, fire, whatever the kids say nowadays. Swag, fire, lit. It's good, bro. It looks real good.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Alrighty, so I was going to pull the car outside, but I don't think it adds or takes away from anything, whether I do or don't. Either way, man, look at this thing. What do you think, Lola? Good? Real good. So this is one of these things that I was planning on doing for a little while. I actually ordered this a few weeks back. I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different in the newer style grill that they're using on some of the TLX, RDX, and I think, who knows? I know it's on the TLX and I know it's on the RDX, and I know I like the way that it looks. It's a modern flair on an older vehicle. It looks like it's factory because that's what all of the Acuras are coming out with. Now that little silver section on the inside, I had to trim it. I had to do quite a bit of trimming like I told you and like I showed you. Once I paint everything black, smooth a couple little things over, and go through its final iteration before it's complete, I want to focus on securing it a little bit better. As of right now, I mean, it's really not going anywhere, and it does look good, and I am happy with that. So these videos, they are always fun for me to make. If you appreciate the process, the time and energy and effort that it goes into making something custom and one-off, I want you to leave a like on this video. I want you to comment. I want to know what you think about it. I want you to send this video to your friend that may or may not have an Acura and say, look bro, this is pretty crazy. It looks like you'd buy this off the shelf, but you can't. If you can, they owe me some money because you can't buy this anywhere. So I think that's going to be it for this one, you guys. In the next video, we are going to keep trucking away at the Acura TL project. I have some more cool stuff on the way, and I will see you on that next one. So like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. You know what it is, YouTube. Like I just said, I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Hit subscribe, bro.